yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman's recognized.
I'm going to talk quickly because I got a lot of people who want to talk, and there's a lot of important things in this bill. I want to thank the chairman. He has done an extraordinary job here, and Chairman Lobiondo, both retiring, and we'll miss him. And I also want to thank my colleague, Mr. Larson. Now, there's many provisions that are very important. I won't get to all of them here. But flight attendants, thanks to Michael Capuano from Massachusetts, are going to get a 10-hour minimum rest period. They are safety-critical professionals, and the current rules, sometimes they're only getting 4 or 5 hours a night on certain routes. That's not right. That's long overdue. We have to see whether or not we can actually meet the standard of evacuating a plane in 90 seconds as budget carriers and others cram more and more seats in that are narrower and narrower, less and less pitch. Can we still meet those standards? And we are going to find out whether we can or not. And a provision later in the bill inserted by another of my colleagues, Steve Cohen, will require the FAA, particularly if instructed by this study, to set minimum pitch, width, and length requirements for passenger seat. The drones, we have 100 reports of drone sightings by pilots in controlled airspace being illegally operated every month. Sooner or later, one of those things is going to take down a jetliner with passengers on board. And until now, Congress has prohibited the FAA from regulating these drones because the model aircraft people think that they're going to all be grounded. They're not going to be grounded. The FAA isn't going to go after responsible operators. You are going to have to register. You are going to have to show that you understand the rules. But the model aircraft people already do. Many of these toy people, like the one who stopped firefighting in my district in August, they're breaking the law. And we're going to know and be able to identify them, find them, fine them, jail them, whatever necessary to stop these dangerous activities. So that's an incredibly important part of the bill. There's certification reforms. Our manufacturers have been waiting for years. We need to maintain our lead in aerospace. And we're finally getting certification reform, which will make their production of new equipment, modern, state-of-the-art stuff much easier. And we're also going to require the FAA to facilitate and defend their approvals overseas. No more Chinese Aviation Authority blackmailing our manufacturers into giving them proprietary information so they can sell their product in China. That's got to stop. And we're going to make the FAA help our manufacturers over there. We're going to do some passenger rights here. As I already talked about, Steve Cohen with the seat pitch. There's also consumer protections. We're going to have better identification of what's going to happen. They're going to have to post online with mass cancellations, what they're going to do with people. Permanent prohibition of cell phones in flight. Did not, unfortunately, include a provision that Chairman Lobiondo, Drew Ferguson, and I authored to help the airline industry or defend the airline industry from following the cruise line model where all the crews are going to be foreign and not subject to U.S. law with flags of convenience. And that's something that yet needs to be addressed. Does not allow an increase in passenger facility charge, which hasn't been updated in about 20 years. And yet airports do not have sufficient bonding capacity to make the improvements we need to make the airports flow more quickly and a better experience for passengers. And the airlines should join me in that instead of opposing that. Also has disaster recovery reform in there. We're going to do more investment in pre-disaster mitigation, which will save massive amounts of money for taxpayers. We're going to require stronger building codes as we rebuild. It also has some important things for the state of Oregon that relate to earthquake early warning and mitigation regarding forest fires. And finally, we're going to take money that is being stolen from passengers. Now, we have a big fight over passenger facility charge. Yet the airlines did not raise a stink when the Republican Congress raised twice the passenger security fee and diverted the money to non-passenger security issues, which is delaying the deployment of new, more efficient equipment by the TSA. We're going to finally end that practice, not soon enough, but perhaps we can amend that later. Again, I would reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves the balance of his time. Gentleman from Pennsylvania.